another episode of The Art of Making Friends. My name is Lisa. I have with me my beautiful co-host, Erin, and her lovely friend, Carolina.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome, ladies, to the show. Want to remind all of our listeners and followers that you can find us on theartofmakingfriends.com. That's our website. We built it. It's ours. We own that. You can also find us on YouTube, Art of Making Friends. You can find us on Spotify, Art of Making Friends. You can find us on Amazon Podcasts, Art of Making Friends. You can find us on Apple, The Art of Making Friends. You can find us on Patreon. It's The Art of Making Friends. And you can also please send us feedback on our episodes. We want to know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. We want to know what you think of our guests. All good comments, though. Positive. Stay positive. Our Gmail address is the Art of Making Friends podcast at gmail.com. You can also leave comments on any of our social medias or send us messages because we want the feedback.
And I would say just generally, it's a suggestion box. Use it as such, as
Correct.
directed.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I am just thrilled to introduce you, Lisa, to really a kindred spirit. I can feel it already. Actually, I can see it already.
Yeah.
We're all wearing the suit.
We got the OG tracksuit on today. I will drop the link to the OG tracksuit in the episode notes.
That's right. And Cece, Carolina, which do you prefer? Me call you.
Hearing you say Carolina sounds so unnatural, so
Yeah.
Cece is fine.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know it had to be formal, and I didn't tell everybody what your real name is, but she's Cece to me.
Then CC it is.
Cece it is. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for
having me.
So Cece, when I gave her these marching orders that she was gonna need to be on my podcast, she said, "Well, I got to get the suit?" And I said, "Hold on, sister.
I got you.
It's coming your way." And so what was your reaction to the suit when you got it?
Well, I saw it waiting at my door, and I picked it up and I said, "Oh, wow, the tracksuit." And then I took it out of the packaging, and I tried it on, and I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, "Oh, this is kind of comfortable." It's not my first choice, but as soon as I put it on, I mean, it's light, it's soft, it's like a good
and let me tell
material.
you are rocking the shit out of it. Like, you look fantastic in this. You look amazing. I mean, you're just beautiful to begin with, but I mean, I think a tracksuit really just adds nice level shit.
It does, and I think it makes you look authoritarian, or maybe that's not the right word these days.
Official.
Authoritative.
Yes.
Not authoritarian. I think that holds political weight of some sort, but don't ask me. There's no way to know. So welcome to the podcast. And Cece, we always start the episode with a toast. And so I have Chat GPT'd one for you, as is how you do it in the future. And we're drinking some Portuguese white wine, which was Cece's request. The alternative for our Gen Z friends out there was Stone Cold Sober.
Ooh, no. Ooh.
Yeah. I feel bad for them. But you know, you can't tell them what to do. So anyway, we're going to have some white wine. This is some Vinho Verde, because Cece is Portuguese from the Azores. It's her ancestry. I mean, she's from Fall River, but she is originally from the Azores. So we're having that. And Cece, here's to Cece from the Azores, clever and keen with periscopes sharper than you've ever seen. She spies, she winks, she rules the marine scene. So raise your glass high and let's toast our queen.
Cheers,
Cheers,
Cece.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, I have to be honest. Cece, I really put in the effort today. I went to my first usual stop for wine, and asked if he had anything Portuguese. And the answer was no. And then I went to the second wine shop and asked if they had anything Portuguese, and they laughed at me. And then I looked up like another, like one that should have more imports. And I went to them and said, anything at all, Portuguese, white, anything. And he said, no, I'm sorry. I said, I need this for my podcast. And he was like, I'm sorry. So, so I ended up with, it's just a bottle of Menage a Trois, Pinot Grigio. So, but I did think Menage a Trois was fitting. So,
well, good sister.
3 ladies. I don't know.
And you put in some serious effort.
I did. I went to 3 wine stores. I really tried, Cece. I really tried.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Originally?
Or where are you currently?
Currently Cincinnati, Ohio. And there is not a large Portuguese population here.
Yeah, what's your reaction to that coming from Fall River, Massachusetts?
I feel like most of the people are on the coastal states, like most of the Portuguese community.
Yeah. Yeah, not too many people looking for a landlocked situation.
You're going to see that in New England and like California.
Yeah.
And like New Jersey. Yeah. So that's not surprising to me at all.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of a bummer, because I would like to have that community here, because I would like to eat more Portuguese food.
Yeah. Well, and the wine is so good.
And cheap.
And cheap. That is a very big key.
Good, cheap wine.
So Fall River, Massachusetts is very, very Portuguese. I don't know if people recognize that or even think about Fall River, Massachusetts, but we're here to inform you that that is the case. And it's not mainland Portugal, it's the Azores.
Correct.
And so actually when Greg moved to town originally, he moved here a year before me, and he is actually the reason that Cece and I are friends.
Okay.
He would come back from Fall River and reported to me, hey, I'm going to work at this practice, but everybody speaks Portuguese. So there needs to be somebody in the room who speaks Portuguese for every patient that comes in. That's how Portuguese it is.
Huge Portuguese community. Huge.
Wow, that's really a big showing then. If you need a translator in the office, like that's an enormous amount of Portuguese speaking, and they're not bilingual. Probably old school, right? They're the older generation. That are you bilingual, Cece?
I am, correct.
Of course you are. So the older generation is probably not so bilingual. Yeah.
Right. They relied mostly like on their children who were born here to learn English and kind of translate for them. Some of them do learn, but it can be very broken. It all really depends. But as far as the older community and the age of like Greg's patients, pretty much, I mean, they're all probably like 60 plus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then. So when Portuguese immigrate into the United States, does it then become like a multi-generational in one family? Do they all stay together like in that same, house, and sort of you get the grandparents and the parents and then the offspring?
It does seem to be that way. When my mom came here, she came here with a few of her siblings and her parents, and my mom is one of 8. So, I mean, one of 8, and then out of all of their children, I think I'm one of 18 first cousins.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And we're all pretty much here, like in the Massachusetts, Rhode Island area.
All right. Wow, come to Cincinnati.
Wow. That's crazy. Is there anybody anywhere else?
Yes, so I have an uncle who still lives in Portugal. He's actually in Cascais, which is in the continent, and his daughter also lives there. She's a stewardess for TOP, the airline. And one of my uncles that was living here actually moved back to the area of Post in the continent.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. And you went to see that uncle.
I went to go see the one in Cascais. So he visits us very frequently, so I have a closer relationship with him. So aside from that, I mean, they all came here and stayed here, yeah.
So Portugal's on my bucket list, and I think it's a beautiful country, and I'd like it's gorgeous. So it's on my bucket list to go to. So you've been?
Correct, yes. Primarily to the Azores. So my family is from San Miguel, and when I was with my ex, we had gone to the island of Thrseda a lot. And I talked about the Azores so much that Erin and Greg went to San Miguel, which is freaking awesome. Right? It was this past September.
Yep.
During Hurricane Erin.
Yes.
Well, how fitting is that?
Very fitting.
It's very weird. We went to San Miguel, which is the largest island in the whole chain, which the Azores are. It was like a 4-hour flight from Boston. It's not
Really
that far away.
It's a no-brainer. It's like the Hawaii of Western Europe,
Yeah,
so
and
you might as well go.
It's just like that. It's volcanic. This volcanic archipelago. Is that what it's called? And then, but it's like in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's
beautiful.
It's spectacular. I mean, the colors there, the people, it was really pretty awesome. And actually, when we went, we were really excited because we were able to tell the people there that we met that we were from Fall River, and they would say, I hope I can go there one day. And I would say,
it's not a destination.
You should come. I really think you should stay.
That's awesome.
It was very fun. So we felt pretty special because we were at the
You're practically
second center
royalty
of the
from the
universe.
U.S.
Yeah. So Cece, here's how Cece and I met. Is she worked at the same practice as Greg works. And you started working there in what year?
It was November of 2020.
Oh, so you were right in COVID.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so that's number one is Cece, her job, she went into the pandemic. She didn't leave the pandemic. She entered the pandemic, which is kind of the first thing you need to know about Cece, because I just kept hearing Greg would come home and say, you know, during that time, I think the statistics were that we lost 10% of our entire medical community. People either early retired, quit like me.
Quit, never came back.
Yeah, just moved on to another field or something. But yeah, 10% reduction. And so a lot of the older or the people that had worked with Greg for so many years left. And he was, you know, sad. It's sad when you see people move on, and it wasn't a great time. It was kind of sad. And he would come home and tell me, yeah, but there are all these young people and they're so fun and funny and they know how to do everything. And he just kept coming home and telling me, because I felt like at that time, you either decided to complain or you decided to be useful. Right. And Cece decided to be useful. And so that was kind of the first thing that I knew about Cece. And that's, you know, that service sort of flair is always something that I look for in a person who's like looking to get involved and helping other people. So I was just so happy that finally Greg had someone so cool and fun to work with, because I think he kind of had an older population, right, of people. What was the mix when you showed up?
I mean, it was me at 23 years old, and everyone else was pretty much like twice my age or higher.
Right.
So, I mean, I grew up in the age of like technology. So like computers, like new computer softwares that we were using, you know, there was just like a lot of change, not just COVID, but a new administrator, new workflow. I mean, everyone was just kind of in shambles. Everyone who had been there for like 10 plus years. And then they had me, they had Rosie, who's just a year older than I. Monica is my age. So we just kind of came in and we're like, all right, guys, let's fucking get going. Let's lock in.
Yeah. They locked in and they got going, and, you know, they found the fun in work, because if you don't find the fun in work, it's going to be a long life.
Yeah, I think we were fortunate to all be hired at the same time for sure. I mean, we just had to laugh through it all.
Yeah.
Laugh through the tears and the misery and the grumpy patients and
And
No,
I
it was
think
just
certainly
an
at that
incredible time.
time, anything that brought a sense of joy or a renewed interest or just a fresh perspective, like any of that positive sort of influence, especially at that time, was like incredibly appreciated because it was such a dark time, you know. So to have an influx of younger people that knew stuff that, you know, maybe they
Yeah.
were having a hard time with, and bringing with it a fresh eye and a fresh attitude was probably really appreciated.
Yeah, the attitude was definitely new and appreciated. And I mean, we would have people say, oh, I have to scan something. It's going to take me 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, we didn't have the most technologically savvy staff. And so it was pretty cool to get some new robotic kids in to figure everything out within seconds. So that was kind of how I had learned about CC. And then maybe you can talk about some of the things that you did at work to kind of build your community there.
Build my community. Well, first of all, I mean, the people that work there were just freaking awesome. And it was so nerve-wracking to kind of build relationships with like all of the doctors. But obviously Greg was like the easiest. I was like, oh, this guy's weird. I like this guy. Weird in a good way.
He's weird and he's awesome, but he's weird. And yes, I can see why you would be drawn to Greg because he's weird and awesome. He's the best.
And he would just say like certain words that I know would just not be common for someone of his demographic. And like I think he said no cap, and I said, come again? And he like looked at his notes. And he's like, okay, so my wife has like her own CC at work, which was Heather, that teaches them like the millennial or like Gen Z lingo. That way they can kind of just stay up to date on how to communicate with the younger crowd.
All true.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. And he said, yeah, bet. Oh my goodness. So we kind of hit it off pretty quickly, and I think what really solidified our friendship was on April Fool's Day. I was very brave, and I came in fully dressed in a costume that looked like one of Greg's colleagues, co-owners of like the practice. And
let's describe what he looks like.
I feel like this either went over like a Spartan church or went over really big. So
I wish I had a picture still for reference, but I mean, at the time during COVID, he had a long beard that was just really
a COVID beard.
A COVID beard, correct. It wasn't trimmed, it wasn't taken care of. Like he just let it grow out, and it was probably down to his chest. And he wore the lowest scrub top, and he wore Sperry's with no socks, and his hair was like blonde and peppery. So I got a wig, I got the beard, I ordered scrubs just like his. I had old Sperry's from high school. I came in with a lab coat, and I just sat at his desk patiently waiting for him to come into work. And when Greg came in, he said, oh, this is amazing. And he took out his camera and he said, may I? And he took a picture. And he's like, oh my God, you have the Sperry's on. And he's like, are there socks? And I said, no, of course not. There's no socks in these. And it was just brave in the sense that, I mean, this doctor is a little bit more reserved. He's just more professional,
right.
awesome
like
person.
This is either going to fall like a lead brick, or he's going to think it's really funny, you know? But it sounds like you took the time to really get the costume down, which is cracking me up. And the fact that Greg got there is like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and how, you know, reserved and professional he is. He does have an appreciation for detail-oriented work.
I put a lot of effort into it. Oh, and I bought his glasses, his circular glasses, so it was just down to a T. And he just had the biggest like belly laugh and chuckle, and he wanted to take a picture with me, and it was great.
Okay, so he liked it. The guy liked it.
We did, thank God.
Okay.
Yeah. That would have been really awkward because I didn't have a change of clothes. So I just checked out patients for the remainder of the day dressed like them.
You were fully dressed like
Fully dressed. Correct. My house was all the way in East Providence, 30 minutes away. There's no way I was leaving to
Not
change.
going
So
home
I
to
had
change.
to
You're stuck in this outfit for the day.
Yeah, so that was one story that I had heard about, and then
shenanigans and the eye drops.
oh yeah,
So we're reaching the end of the day. Everyone is just on edge. Like patients, it must have been like a full moon. Like patients were just so cranky, so demanding, so impatient. We're all on edge. And this patient came in at the end of the day. We had seen her early in the morning, and she like demanded to know how many eye drops came in like a 2 milliliter bottle for whatever reason. We're like, I don't know, but it's enough for you. Like it'll last however long you need the duration that you need to take the eye drops for. And she's like, yeah, no, but I want one of the medical doctors to answer my question. And I'm like, all right, can you just Google it? No, that wasn't good enough. So I go over to Greg, and he's 50 patients deep and probably a little delirious at this point, doesn't eat lunch, doesn't drink water.
Yeah.
He just goes straight through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, G, because I never called him Dr. Hofeld. It just
Hey,
didn't feel
G.
natural to me. I'm like, hey, G, patient so-and-so wants to know how many drops are in this bottle. And mind you, I'm speaking to him, and I'm facing like his side, and he's just typing. And I ask my question, and then he stops. And then he looks over at me slowly, and he's like, well, let's figure it out. And he takes the bottle open, he pulls out the trash can, and he goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm like, oh my God. We're
Really gonna count the fucking drop.
He just like, that was just the last straw of the day. And he's like, well, we're gonna figure it out right now. Yeah. So he counted maybe like 12 drops in that little bottle. And I'm like, okay. So I go back, I tell the patient that, give her a new bottle, obviously, because he just cracked that one open and just wasted it. So we'll just give her another one. It's fine. And I go back to my desk, and I think it's like 20 minutes later. And then he comes, I see him like walking down the hall and goes into my office, and he's like, oh, Cece, he's like, that was the wrong bottle. He's like, it's this one. He's like, now let's see how many eye drops are in here. And he goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm like, oh my goodness. We're just losing our freaking minds, and we're just trying so hard to just laugh through it all, because healthcare, it's a business, unfortunately, and our patients are our paychecks, and we just try to keep them happy.
Yeah.
And we tried so hard to really make do with what we had. And I am very grateful for him and the community that we had at that office. I mean, Kelly was, one of the managers there at the office. And I remember
She's a queen.
Oh, you should have her on this podcast.
She should be on this podcast.
Yes.
For
And
sure.
we will. And we will.
And we will.
And because I had started during COVID, they didn't resume their Christmas parties until 2021, which I knew that you were going to attend. And I've always heard about Erin. Everyone was like, wow, Erin's so awesome. One of the ladies that worked at patient call center actually left Center for Sight and worked with Erin. Like everyone said it was an upgrade. They're like, oh, they're working for the wrong doctor. I'm like, oh, I'm like, she's awesome. But I mean, if they're saying that this Erin person is even better, I'm like, I can only imagine what it's like to work for her.
Erin is pretty fucking awesome.
She is. And then I asked Kelly, oh, shut up. You're a queen. So I asked Kelly, I'm like, Kelly,
thank you, and accept. Because you are. You're great.
She's cringing right now.
Oh, I know. I love making her blush.
Yes.
So I asked Kelly, and Kelly, like, what am I going to expect? Like, what's Erin like? And she said, word for word, like, Erin is a woman who is just so sure of herself. And I was like, ooh, I like that. Like, just so, like, confident and like you know what you want, you know how to get it. Like the way that she talked you up, I was like, I don't know if like I'm scared or if I'm
I'm
inspired.
kind of scared. I'm definitely scared. Wow, that's very flattering. I don't know if it's all true, but I mean, I guess you fake it till you make it, you know?
Well,
Is really
but
what it's
here's a
all
good
about.
point. And this, I think this comes into play in sort of the friendship dynamic, especially as you're meeting new people, right? You never see yourself through the lens of others, right? You don't get that perspective, that you don't ever see yourself the way that others see you. And so, and yes, it may be uncomfortable to sort of hear those things, especially when they're complimentary and you feel like, oh, that's, if they only knew what was going on in my head, Um, but it's important to take that all in, especially when you're meeting new people, right? And sort of understand that there is a person that you put out, right? And that's what other people see. It's not always that internal dialogue. It's not always that internal person. And so it can be really, and that information is critical, I think, to use when you're meeting new people, because I've been accused of being intimidating. And I'm like, I'm not really, if you just get to know me. I'm not intimidating. And I'm sorry that I kind of put that vibe out. But knowing that I do, I have been more aware, right, to be less intimidating, whether it's through my actions or through my interactions with somebody new, is to maybe dial down my personality just a touch so that I'm not intimidating to meeting new people, because that can be off-putting. So if somebody says that you're, strong, or what was the word you used, Cece?
Like she just was so sure of herself.
Sure of yourself, right? But
Yeah.
but not in an intimidating sort of way, right? Or
No.
but you felt like, oh, this could be a little scary.
Yeah, that description is definitely like, oh boy.
No, she said she said it like in a way that it was like kind of like inspiring, because to meet other women that are just so confident in themselves, but like not in an unhealthy way. Like you just know what you believe in, you know who you are, and you just go right on through life. Like,
Yeah,
put on your big girl pants, you make your decisions, you just figure shit out for yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't think that society is comfortable with a woman being that way.
No.
Especially
Agreed.
like from a male perspective. And I think we've had this conversation before where, I mean, I had a friend or a coworker who had an opinion about a friend's partner, which I had already met. So I heard his perspective of her, and then I actually met her and I was like, oh, she's actually quite wonderful. I love her personality. She has a strong personality, but I'm fine with that.
Right.
And then it clicked in my head. I'm like, he was turned off because she's a strong woman. She doesn't hold back. She has that healthy confidence about herself. She can dominate conversations. She's not submissive or shy or like reserved as men kind of want women to be. And realizing that in real time, I'm like, whoa, that's just kind of crazy. Like I was able to identify it, and I told him, I'm like, that's not a fair judgment to have. Like she's actually a really kind person, and she makes your friend happy.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, that's true. And I could see that he was just kind of stumped by it. Like I kind of called him out on his BS.
And that's another reason that I really like Cece. Because Cece CCCs. Carolina
I see what you did there.
CCCs.
These inconsistencies, let's call them, where I feel like our generation was raised, that the women's lib movement had happened. It was over. There's nothing to complain about anymore, and move on. And please be quiet.
Not true.
It was kind of that sort of feeling. And I remember thinking, I don't know if that's true. I'm gonna sure as hell find out. And it definitely was not true. You know, these were all just kind of fairy tales that we had been told, and we're equal now. And um, you know, the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment, had failed to go through, but we're equal now, and but it was never conveyed to me where we were on that spectrum.
Yeah.
And how very tenuous that relationship with equality or whatever we were talking about amongst between the genders, it was very tenuous and just recently kind of agreed upon with almost like a societal handshake, but nobody had really changed anything other than yeah, we hear you, you're equal now.
Right.
But with what was actually in practice, that was not the case. The other thing that I like to be very specific about is I don't think we're equal. I mean, I think we should be paid equally, but I actually think that we are different, fundamentally different.
Thank goodness.
And
Thank
I'm
goodness.
just and superior.
Correct.
Well, you know, we can all have our opinions, but at the end of the day, we provide different skills and sensibilities and perspectives that you know, I've had some late night ruminations where I've thought about, is God a woman or a man, or, you know, how
I remember this conversation. This was the first night of meeting you, and we had probably like a 2-hour in-depth conversation. Like, I forgot that I was even with my coworkers. Everyone was like, I think God is a woman, and I'm like,
oh my God.
well, and that, but I've modified that. I actually think that whatever that concept is, it's both. You need both for life. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, we do have both of those energies, and they're always kind of dancing back and forth. And it is a dance. And it's not static, and it's not one thing, but it is, and you work with mostly men. And I always have worked with mostly men, but then when I got into this area in Fall River, most of the people that I worked with were women, and most of those women had never worked for a female doctor.
Well,
And
that's
so-
you know, the workplace dynamic is a little different
Yeah.
too, because but like, I've worked in a company, will not name names, but there was an omnipresent air of misogyny.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one thing to work along men who understand the value, the differences, and the value that women bring to the table, right? It is another thing to work in a company or a place or a workplace environment, where whatever it is, where that threatens the masculinity of, you know, the men. And so that's you know, it's a really interesting dynamic to talk about, because, and I think, you know, it exists in minors. I felt more comfortable. I've always felt more comfortable working among women that recognize a strong, talented female, right? Because either that person is going to bring them along with them, or they're going to learn something that they're going to, you know, and lock arms and fucking do it together as a sisterhood, right? Whereas you don't get that same vibe. 9 times out of 10, you don't. I'm not disqualifying every male, you know, workplace environment, but, you know, where a man is like, oh, you do bring something different to the table. I recognize your talents and abilities, and I don't want you to do dishes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so Cece, back to you starting working with Greg, right? Like, for you to have that experience of going into a non-misogynistic work environment where your skills and your values and your talents as a young a person in the workplace, right? And I think that Gen Z gets shit on regularly.
Yeah.
And sometimes rightfully so, but others not. You know, it goes to speak a lot about both you and your work ethic and what you bring to the table, and also about Greg and about his ability to recognize that as a beautiful strength that he doesn't have in his workplace, but he does now because of you.
Yes,
I love you.
that is totally true. I think
Well said.
Cece also opened up Greg's eyes to I feel like when he started working there, I kept saying to him, it's like you're working in 1955. It just was a dynamic that, over decades shifted. And when your cohort came in, it just unleashed this whole different side of work and a way to work where you are a team and it's less of the hierarchy, which is clearly the way younger generations feel. And I even feel like I feel that way. Like whatever that hierarchical thing was that was in medicine or in the military, which you work with now, it's fine and it works. It's not my preference. It's definitely more fulfilling and joyful to do it feeling like you're part of a team.
Part of a team, yeah, and just don't get lost
absolutely.
in
All right,
for
so
sure. Like,
let me ask you this, Cece. Did you, obviously Greg was like your boss. Did you see him as a friend?
Oh, immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Immediately, for sure. He did not make it feel like, hey, I am boss and like you listen to me and you do it like this. Like he is able to, he's able to keep it professional, but I feel like it's easier to work for someone and work harder for them when they like respect you. Like we're both people. I knew my place in that office and he knew his, and I was like, hey, whatever you need, like I'll back you up. You want to take the afternoon off? I'll call these patients and move them for you, dude. Like, he had my back and we had his, and I think that's why it worked for so long.
I'm really glad that you had that experience at that age, because you can learn a lot as the professional person that you want to develop into. You can learn a lot from really great mentors. You can also learn a lot from those that are shitty mentors, I mean, in one circumstance, I learned a lot about the manager that I wanted to become because I had an awful one. And so I think it's really important to sort of that you recognize that you had a good partner, but it was also a leader and a friend and somebody that understood your merit and your value. And as you go into the professional world, then because you've had that experience at a young age, you bring that with you, right? That's just
agreed.
It's just a thing that grows with you as a professional. I love that you and Greg have had that relationship. I think it'll be something that benefits the both of you for a very long time.
Right. You had it with another provider there.
Oh, yes. My bestie, Philbrook. Bestie. So this was an optometrist that was in the Navy. So he had a very militant, hard exterior to him. I mean, this guy towered in at probably 6'2". He had like a thick mustache, like these bright blue piercing eyes, like very, very stern, didn't say much. And I think it's like that quietness that made him so intimidating because, I was like, this dude's kind of scary. And then we found a mutual common ground over dogs. One day he came in and he was kind of upset, and I'm like, hey, are you all right? And he said, oh, my wife and I were really upset. Our dog just died. And he was showing me a picture of the dog on his phone. Mind you, I'm 5'2", and this guy is a foot taller than me. So he's showing it to me. So I'm here, with his hands, and he's scrolling through it, and I can hear sniffling. And then I look up and this big Navy dude is getting teary-eyed, and I'm like, oh my god, it broke my heart. So I just embraced him, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I could feel him tense up because he just didn't realize it. And I'm Portuguese, so we're very touchy-feely, and I know sometimes that's not really appropriate for the workplace, but I think I had worked with him enough where I didn't think that he would have gotten offended. And then from there, I mean, we just hit it off. I mean, we we were
Isn't
like this, and
Isn't it
it was such
beautiful
like a
how
cute
just like
relationship.
one moment like that, one breakthrough moment, right? Where you're both in the human element, right? Your reaction was to hug him because he was just hurting, right? And
Mhm.
he probably was like, "Oh God, what's this?" And then eventually he just said, "Okay, like he needed it too. He needed it too." And in that moment, a friendship blossomed.
Right.
I love
And
those
I also
human
found
moments where you find that common ground that a friendship then blossoms. Such a beautiful
right.
thing.
And I also learned that he was like a girl dad, and he was not like the type of parent that would lay down the hammer. He was like the pushover, and I learned so much more about him, and I'm like, wow, this guy is just such a huge teddy bear.
Yep.
Like internally, like really like behind closed doors, huge teddy bear, but to the world, he was just so scary.
I would say that he had big dad energy.
He did, and I think Greg is still scared of Big Dad to this day.
I think so. I think he could turn Greg into a pretzel.
Correct. No, this guy was so scary. Like he was 65 but could do like CrossFit. I mean, he
Yeah.
was
Built like a brick shit house.
he was.
Philbrook. Right on you, Philbrook.
So
So that was almost like an interspecies friendship because he was so much older than you were. Physically, you looked like you were from different parts of the world. And I just remember feeling so thankful, just like Lisa was saying, that you were having this experience with these men who were in these roles, who were providing you with a guidebook as to how it goes in a workplace with men and women.
How men should be. I mean, they were
Correct.
so kind, so
Yeah.
respectful. Obviously, as like a younger female, I mean, I've worked with other providers in the past that were
not
very
that way.
kind. And I mean, there were no moves made, no disrespect, no weird energy. And then when I shifted towards working at the Navy, then I was like, whoa, I miss Greg, I miss Phil. Like these guys are, I mean, some of them are quite wonderful, honestly. I can't complain specifically where I work, but just imagine like Navy veterans who used to be on ships and had no contact with women for months and months on end, and they're just programmed a different way when they see a female, and they kind of get all silly and like hee like this young female. Like I've had some interesting encounters with men, and yeah, it definitely built perspective for me, but I also learned how to navigate it because I just worked with older men. So
yeah,
I just slap some humor on it, and I'm like, hey, don't fuck with me and we'll be cool because I can hang.
And don't disqualify that lesson. Like you just said, you learned how to navigate it, right? Because I think that navigation skill, right, will come in handy regardless of the situation. So, even in those cases where you might find that it's not an ideal situation, or that you long for a previous situation like with Greg, right? But that you learned how to navigate that. Like you learned how to survive it. You learned how to deal with it. And that is a skill that is crucial and will be crucial to everything that you ever do for the rest of your life, is learning how to navigate those sort of awkward situations. And, until we are all dead and gone, you're going to be dealing with Gen X and boomers. Your whole adult career is still going to involve them until we are all, past the point of retirement, right? So your entire career, you're going to be dealing with folks that come from a different era. And not so much
the
Gen X.
1900s.
We're cool as fuck. Gen X is cool as fuck. But we're phasing out the boomers. But you'll always have a generational gap, right? And someday you'll be sitting in our position, and it'll be what comes after Z?
I honestly have no idea.
I lost track. It's too much math.
I think it goes up to like alpha, beta. I think
you're right.
Is after Gen Z. So they're in their teens now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, eventually you're going to find yourself in the same situation, you know, that you're in right now with dealing with people who are in their like 40s, 50s, 60s. You'll be in that position. And hopefully you just keep that same perspective, that same open mind about the lessons that you learned in that different, you know, from different, you know, jobs and places that you were. And you'll find yourself a nice, you know, when you're 40, 50, find yourself a nice 20-year-old that knows everything and be still open-minded.
Yeah, right. I will find my own CC.
All of a sudden, you're the older person in the workplace and you're like, uh-oh, I'm not ready for this. But it is those conversations and mentorships, or you have to share experiences, and particularly where they lie around gender issues. Like, you know, Todd, my business partner, he was one of the 1 out of 10 that was ready to, you know, take on the system with me.
Yep.
And so there are those allies, and you just have to find them. And I think with humor,
Yes.
it's a superpower.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a superpower to be a strong female and know when to slap some fucking humor on something, because it's helped me navigate this man world. Oh my gosh. Thank God.
I think for sure there's a common, like, a common denominator that you can get to help you navigate. Humor is one of them, you know. Obviously just being agreeable but still doing your own thing is another one that's just sort of served me well. I'm like, I'm gonna do me still. You know, but I mean, you find some tools to sort of navigate through those difficult situations. And that's whether you're in a professional relationship or a platonic or a friendship or a family. Like, you know, those tools are applicable to any relationship that you're in. Humor is
Well,
always
and speaking of those,
also dogs
here
are
comes
really good.
best friends, Carol and Denise. Wow, Carol Carol really
big fans.
really has a crush on Cece. And Cece also has a pretty big group of girlfriends that she grew up with in Fall River. And where are they, Cece?
So, so my best friend Tori, which, you know, she's still here. Tori is awesome. I actually wanted her to meet you guys. I mean, we all met at the Casey Musgraves concert, and I was like, trust me, I know it's intimidating. Like, when I say, like, my previous boss and his wife, like, they're doctors, but they're super cool. She was kind of like, okay, sure, yeah, like, let's meet up with them. And I'm like, no, like, trust me, like, they're the fucking awesomest people ever. And to this day, she's like, thank you so much for introducing me to them. Like, they're quite freaking lovely. So Tori's still here in the Fall River area, but my other best friend, Savannah, she actually moved out to Los Angeles about like a year and a half ago, with a couple of other friends that went to school with us. And I do visit them. I try to at least, you know, once a year, twice a year. And it's quite an experience out there. I mean, a New England girl like me, coming from like an immigrant family, going out there where the sun always shines and people are, it's just different. It's a different group of people out there, and I do miss them very much. And I wish that they could be on this podcast too, because I think that they're also kind of like me, and just
They can be on this podcast.
They can be, right?
Be on the podcast. Right. Let's get them on.
It's very simple.
They're just females looking for other fucking awesome females that can talk about things and enlighten each other and laugh and cry and just kind of get through life together. I mean, they're my soul sisters for sure.
The no judgment zone.
Yeah, no judgment, safe space.
That's what you need. And from the number of young people who feel too connected to their phones or don't feel like they can make friends or don't have any friends. I mean, I've had so many young people, and not even that young, in their 20s, say they don't have friends. This is too long of a life to live without friends.
That's scarier than never getting married or having an intimate relationship, to be honest. Like, when when I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, thank God I have these girlfriends that are my ride or dies, like probably my actual soulmates. Like I don't think I could be able to navigate life without them. Like a guy is just like extra, but like you need like that group of girls that they're going through life and the same things as you are. Like you guys are kind of helping each other through your own experiences. And yeah, I'm just so grateful that I have them because I talk to other women my age and it just seems really like lonely and scary to not have like that tribe to back you up.
So do you think, let me ask you this, Cece, do you think it's an age thing? Because I know probably, you know, in my early 20s, right, I didn't have a great like tribe of girlfriends, but I don't think that was like as widely recognized as a thing back then, you know. So the fact that you have that tribe already built at this age, that's amazing. That to me is like, it is a, and it will be a critical thing for you to keep throughout your adult life. I didn't have a tribe until probably my 30s. I had a pocket,
And
like a
that's me.
friend here, a friend there, a friend there, but like not a tribe. You have a tribe already.
I wonder if it's more common now for women my age because just like expectations for women have changed. Like we don't grow up thinking like I need to find a man, like get married and be like a housewife. Like we're kind of lucky to just kind of grow up in a time where it's like women are in the workforce, they're independent, they're self-sufficient, they travel, they go and experience things together. Like we're not tied down by these like traditional expectations from society. So they just have the time and the ability to connect with other women that are kind of just doing the same thing and doing themselves.
Yeah. Living their best lives with no restrictions.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, a man.
Yeah.
You know,
Fair enough. And listen,
go
this is not an
dream.
episode to dog men either. Let's not turn it into that.
No,
But-
listen, like I said, I love them. You need them. I love men to death. I
Me
really
too.
do. I just, we do. But I do think that the awareness of how different our lives are, how
Right.
we are viewed. You know, I can't understand what it's like to be a guy. And so equally, it's hard for them to understand what the world looks like through our lens and
Mhm.
how you're treated. It's, you know, you can't hide that you're a woman. And so people treat you the way they feel is appropriate. And sometimes it's not exactly what you would choose. And sometimes based on this gender thing, which usually kind of takes you by surprise.
Yeah.
But it still is there and it's uncomfortable. And thank God we have these young women who are calling bullshit on it.
Yeah. Cece,
We
I
need
love
more
you.
voices like that.
Agreed. That's
You
why it's so
know?
important to have your tribe.
Yeah. Yeah. You need backup to call
Yeah.
bullshit on stuff when it's just not the truth. You know?
Well, I am bowing down to Cece right now because I just love
Right.
her. I think she's awesome. Seriously.
Thank you.
She
You're my-
is the best. She actually, as Greg tells me every time after he talks to her, Cece's like the child we were supposed to have.
Oh.
Yep.
And so, you know, I mean, I guess I definitely don't feel
That's
like
so
your
sweet.
mom, but maybe a cool aunt or something.
Cool auntie. Auntie and uncle, yeah.
Yes. And on that note, I actually have a surprise for Cece.
Oh,
And Lisa doesn't even know about this. So I had gone in this morning to type up the notes for today's episode, and I had an email that said that Casey Musgraves tickets were pre-sale.
What are you saying, Erin?
And so we have a love for Casey Musgraves.
I know you
that
do.
is undying and true. And so it was an American Express pre-sale. So I have an American Express card because I'm a grown up.
Go on.
She's like, get to the point.
Built up. What are you saying?
And I went ahead and purchased 4 tickets
No fucking way.
for a redo on Saturday.
Oh my god, thank god you saw there was a Saturday add-on show.
This will be a combined birthday and eventual graduation gift.
Oh my god, thank you so
And so
much.
you and Tori and Greg and I, we're gonna go.
Oh my
Tori can go.
Fucking god, Tori and I were texting about that today. She's like, just let me know if you want to go on Friday or Saturday. And I'm like, probably Saturday, but I'll let you know. Tori, if you're watching this, mark your calendar.
I love it.
That's so exciting.
Oh my god. I can't wait to show you her tickets. They're really good.
Oh my gosh.
That's fucking awesome.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. I would hug you right now, but I'm actually sweating.
Oh.